So my name is Steven Francis, also known as Frank Stevens, but don't tell anyone. I'm a hip-hop promoter, I'm a beat maker, I've been for a long time. Since 2014 we've been doing events as Homebase Groningen. We had artists such as Jizza, Pete Rockasio, Smooth, Cunnilinguist, The Far Side, Doppelgangers, Blue and Exile, you name it, we've probably done it.
But after a couple of years into the existence of Homebase, there was this radio station called Kink, and they kind of had their revival in the Netherlands. And that was an opportunity for Frank to step in and be like, yo, you guys need a radio show. You need a hip hop radio show.
Steven was already like #1 guest. He was always doing episodes with me. And when the pandemic hit, I took everything to Groningen, started doing the radio show and the podcast at home.
Turns out it's not as fun to do that on your own, home alone. So he asked me to join as a co-host for the show. So we started making a lot of content for those guys. And in 2020, we wanted to do an end of the year show, and we wanted to interview a couple of artists whose music we really enjoyed throughout that year. And one of those groups was the Doppelgangers, and another group was JMO Gang, because like back in spring of 2020, both of us were homebound as the rest of the world was. It's midnight and Frank calls me, he's like,
dude, call me back when you hear this song. First time, JMO Gang, DJ Premier, Tyler Kimbrough, Slug of Atmosphere, it's good.
So I played the record, and so I checked it out. I was like, yo, this is so sick. This is absolutely sick. It put a pep in your step, as Frank would say.
And we wanted to interview J57 about this. But J57, the man, the myth, the mystery, said on his Instagram, no DM. So I think I figured out who his manager was, sent him an email and was like, yo, we really need to talk to J57 about the JMO Gang record, because that was one of our favorite songs that year.
So we set up the Zoom call. It was just like flowing so well, and we really, vibe with the guy, and he with us. So after that interview had finished, we kind of stayed in touch. We interviewed him a bunch of times more, but we also just had like private calls that we never put out, where we talked about music, where we talked about radio, where we talked about all kinds of stuff. And
he figured out we also make music, so J57 being J57, like, what? Like, tell me more. Send me beats. Like, show me stuff. What are you guys working on?
Let's work together. I'll send you a couple samples. Frank can turn those samples into beats, and Steven can rap over them. So that's a project we're still working on that's set to come out next year. But that was also around the time that Frank and myself were going to New York. The world was open again. We could go to New York City. We checked out all the hip hop spots and all the touristy spots. And then we also got the opportunity to meet up with J57.
We kind of started building on some stuff when we were in New York.